trans youth, trans children, the support networks that are there are currently under review in a lot of cases. I have Eastern Gel on a daily basis, but there are people who are maybe trans masculine who take testosterone, increase their male features, deepen their voice. And if you can describe it maybe without using gender, without using some of these terms, but without creating this strange language. And of course, the disparity of experience, people are engaging in various services, the NHS, other, if you like, medical, professional environments. And the experience people are receiving is different, is varied. And speaking from my wife's experience that I've been sharing with her own GP isn't great at engaging. So there's a complete disparity of experience here about what support people are getting through primary care or even secondary care. So we've got to try and create this sense of inclusion, this sense of belonging, this feeling in people that you are for them and they are for you. Because it shows that that organisation is aware that being queer, being trans, being gay, whatever it may be, is not the default. And oppression, marginalisation, discrimination all occur in whatever you are when you are not the default, when you're not the majority. And maybe you need to have different branding, and there's nothing wrong with that, targeting it to different people. Because when you're building your business, when you're working with people, nothing wrong with having segregated marketing and having different things. So you can, again, you're identifying your target audience who you want to help and support through, let's say, more trans inclusive marketing, and you're marketing deliberately into spaces where you know trans people are going to be, maybe support groups, maybe local LGBT drop-in centres, wherever it may be. So if I have to have significant surgery, they will require me to stop taking estrogen for at least 2 to 3 weeks ahead of that surgery. To avoid risk of blood clots and other things.
For a certain period, because in my mind, if you're trans, you're going to do whatever it takes, to be in balance with your hormones.
I believe the wait now to see an NHS-funded gender identity clinic for adult services is around 3 to 4 years for your first appointment. In order to get a second appointment, that's probably another year to 18 months after that. The general rule, and I'm generalising, not with anecdotal evidence, is you very rarely get prescribed cross-sex hormones or anything proactive on the first appointment. No matter what you hear in the press about people having their breasts removed after a quick chat, it just doesn't happen. Typically, I think it's £250, £300 for a consultation. Then you pay for private prescriptions and you pay for hormones privately. So I went through the GIC, the Gender Identity Clinic, which was it tertiary, secondary care, whatever the level is. So my GP effectively has a shared care agreement with the Gender Identity Clinic, and my GP is responsible for prescribing, with the Gender Identity Clinic being the overseer of my care. If you're a young person, the likelihood of you getting adequate NHS or even private support is 4, 5, 6 years, and many people actually become an adult before they get through the young person's care services.
I work with a lot of the transgender community, and I've worked in some very, very large scale global organizations or bodies that are like overseeing bodies for law, or overseeing bodies for financial services, or overseeing bodies for different industries.
I can't remember how explicit I was at the beginning, but often when I'm doing training around gender identity, I start off by explaining who I am through what my lens is, how I see the world, and through my own lived experience. I don't know how those people experience life or how experience their so I don't try and talk for anybody else.